Master intuitive Francis Fox has discovered an energetic structure that exists on the non-physical level. This structure, Francis calls the Brahman Grail, contains information regarding an individual's state of mind, as well as their physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. In order to gather data on this energetic structure, Francis conducted a study with help from Beatrice Rodin and Gabriella Bacagli. The research group was comprised of young children diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, Down syndrome, autism, and learning disabilities. Using her laser-like clairvoyance, Francis is able to access information on this structure, pinpoint abnormalities, and then correct them. The Brahman Grail serves as a kind of map of your consciousness.
The wonderful thing about this map, which I am calling a structure of consciousness, is that it is at the causal body level, or near that level, which is very far away from the physical body. And the wonderful news about it is that every time you get very far from the physical body, you can get instantaneous change. So we will be able to, in the future, have mandalas that include this structure unblocked in the shape that people would want, and people will be able to meditate on it and just look at it many times a day, and their consciousness will entrain, will connect with that sketch, and their consciousness will start to change to match the sketch. So it will be that simple.
We were told that Monica had a 10% chance of survival. There was always some sort of processing delay of her brain, that nothing that the medical profession would be able to actually identify for us or describe exactly like with a diagnosis.
Francis saw her on a Saturday. She has ballet on Tuesdays, and the teacher came out and looked for me, and she came and she told me, Sophie, she's doing incredible. Today she was like never ever before.
In my school. Bye, remember? Yeah. Bye.
Everybody always says that she's talking so much, and she really is. I mean, I'm talking 6 months ago, her speech is nowhere near to what it is now. This whole research that she's doing is a discovery for all of us.
Want to show you love me too.
Eric, we started working with him September the 13th of last year, 97, and he's Down syndrome, 2 years old.
After he went to see Francis, we all noticed a lot of changes. That same day that he arrived from the first appointment with her, you could see the change in Eric. His eyes stopped jumping. His eyes used to jump all over the place. Now his eyes don't jump. He had an expression like he was seeing a lot, like someone had cleaned his glasses. He's learning much faster. When I used to show him something, I would have to repeat it 2 or 3 times. Not anymore. Now I tell him to do something and he does it right away.
Almost 5 years ago, Camila was born in May. It was a perfect pregnancy, natural childbirth. Everything was great. 18 months after that, it's when she was diagnosed with autism and developmental delay. I saw changes on Camila after that first time.
Turn. Come on, turn.
If I had one word to describe how I see Camila now, it's free. It's like she's more light. You know, she can express herself better.
Si no te voy a hacer chachas en la colita.
I have noticed some changes in Camila since she visited Francis Fox. She's a happier child. She's very accepting of the other children. She's accepting of participating in social activities in the classroom. She doesn't get as anxious as she used to.
Robert, as a child, was always a very anxious boy. He was always very nervous and very outspoken at times, screamed a lot, and just couldn't control himself. We spoke to a child psychologist in Coral Gables, and he diagnosed Robert with a learning disability. Francis told me that the ADD Robert had wasn't a bad one, that it could be corrected with a couple of sessions. And she was right.
Stingrays are among the scariest looking creatures in the sea. But for the lucky people who get to see them close up, fear turns to wonder.
Where she said that Robert had evolved from one level to another. You know, that you could see that change in October. That's what it is that she said. That he had evolved from, you know, from his anxiety, you know, really anxious, a very difficult child to deal with very bad behavior, to a new Robert, which was this boy that was focused and concentrated and trying very hard and behaving very well.
Francis' work has to do with energy, and it has to do with energy vibration, and it goes much deeper into our soul, and that's where the healing really needs to be done.
It's just a matter of opening your mind and saying, well, let's see. If it works, it works. And that's also the scientific method, experiment.
This thing that Francis is doing about energy and healing, it's going to be a big thing in the future.
Faith becomes more real, but you become more unconditional. You start to really believe that you see the progress. You see how Monica basically has been able to improve tremendously, not only her speech, but her ability to transmit, you know, her thoughts.
The issue here is not simply to be spiritual. The issue here is to be the balance of spiritual and physical. That's what makes a successful person on this planet.